Guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight is a Kia V chat. Turn up, turn down for what? Turn down for what? Nah. Well, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is going to be homeschooling. Yay or nay? I've been thinking about this a lot because you guys know I'm a thinker and I think about all types of things like all day long. But I've really been thinking about homeschooling versus public schooling because where I'm from or where I live right now, we recently had a school go through a shooting, which is any parent's worst nightmare. And I send much love and respect out to the parents and to the injured parents, and much prayer towards the situation. So yeah, it had me thinking a lot about the future. I don't have any kids now, as you guys know. But the future, like I think about that type of stuff, like would I want to homeschool my child or would I want them in public school? And lately I've really been leaning towards the homeschooling side. And I think it has a lot to do with my experience in public school, because I went to a private school until kindergarten and I feel like I learned a lot more. I could have learned a lot more there than I did at public schooling, but I still turned out to be, smart. But yeah, so I was thinking about it and I was just like, public schooling system has gotten worse and things in the world are getting worse. Like you have a whole lot of terrorist attacks and a whole lot of people doing shootings for no reason or for dumb reasons. There's no reason that you should go up in a kindergarten and shoot the students, or in any school, college, nothing. Like there should be nothing that makes you want to shoot innocent strangers that have done nothing to you at all. That's another topic. But I've been thinking about homeschooling a lot because I kind of hated public schooling. To be honest, I hated public schooling and I'm going to tell you why. First off, I hated the fact that we always had to worry about an OGT test. I hated that. Like hate. That's all that we learned. Everything that we learned in school was for the OGT test. It was not for me to go to college and, have some sense of knowledge about what I was going to be learning. It had nothing to do with that at all. It was just OGT. Can you pass your OGT? We're going to teach you passing the OGT. And then like when I passed the test, because I passed all but one of them my second year of high school. So I was just like, in my mind, I was like, I could be done. Like, why am I still here? You guys are still like helping people with the OGT test who haven't passed. But I didn't feel like I learned anything. Like I didn't learn how to balance a checkbook. They didn't tell me how to write a resume. The important stuff that I think people need to know, they don't teach you. And they baby you so much that you can't take school seriously because it's like babysitting. And they'll even say it, I feel like I'm babysitting, but they're not doing anything necessarily to change that, because I don't know, it's just weird to me. But I hated school for that. Second off, I hated it because I did get bullied as a kid. That's a whole nother topic, and I hated that. And teachers couldn't control it and dumb stuff. Like it's stuff that doesn't make sense. And thirdly, my school was a fashion statement school. So if you wasn't, dressed to par, then, you were talked about on a regular basis. And I hated that. Like, I thought that was dumb. And in a sense, I kind of did wish that we had school uniforms, because I was the girl who wore jogging pants all the time. I was laid back. I was cool. But the crazier the world gets, the more I'm definitely leaning towards homeschooling. And that's because no parent wants that phone call. No parent wants to get a call home from the school saying, oh, we're sorry, something's happened. Like, that freaks me out. And it's like getting worse. Like, do you hear all these terrorist attacks that are going on in the world? Like, it's not getting any better at all. And I think that it's just going to continue to get worse. Secondly, they're not teaching the kids squat diddly. Like, if you're not going to teach me squat diddly, why am I taking my child to learn squat-diddly just so I can go to work. Like, and that's the biggest reason why I think people don't homeschool, is because they have to work all of the time. So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. So I did do a little bit of research for you guys, so this wouldn't just me just blabbering on about some pros and cons about homeschooling. So some pros are educational freedom, which means that you can basically teach your children what you think will be vital to them, as well as teaching them and enforcing the basics. I think that that is wonderful. I would love to teach my kids like 15 different languages, and like do trips that are fun, and have that freedom to teach them stuff outside of a test, to teach them life skills, stuff that will actually be important to them in the future. I would love to do that. They also get physical freedom because of the fact that they can wear whatever they want. They can take vacations whenever they want. Educational vacations is what it says, to make it sound like you're a responsible parent. But yeah, you won't have to base your schedule around their schooling. Like, you won't have to make sure you need a babysitter at this time because they'll already be home, and whatever the case. You also have religious freedom, which means that you can incorporate the teachings of your religion to them, and explain things better, because I know a lot of people who are like Christian based, they have a problem with evolution and things like that. So you can teach them evolution or tell them about it so that they know, but you can also be the enforcer of what you believe, regardless of what religious belief that you have. And I think that that's really, really neat. I really, really do. They also say another pro is you have real rested kids, because they won't be on a time schedule and they won't be so caught up. And it is also a pro because they won't get a bunch of busy work when they're homeschooled, because you will teach them everything. I remember in school, there were days when my teachers didn't feel like doing crap. They didn't feel like teaching. They would either A, give us a packet, or B, let us roam free in the classroom and have so-called discussions about whatever happened, and we never really did. But so they won't have any busy work to do. And another thing that I truly, truly, truly am pro for is the fact that when you homeschool, you're giving your child one-on-one attention. That's everything to me, because I feel like there's so many distractions in school. Like, oh my gosh, like I used to go to school sometimes just to see the clowns. Just to see the class clowns, just to see them act a nut and a fool, and me laugh and be rolling, and then get to the next class and be like, guess what happened in my class? Like, that was fun. Like, I wasn't learning squat diddly at the time, because there's so many interruptions that happen in school, because parents I don't know what happens at home, but they come to school and they act like a fool, act like a clown, and your teacher's like, be quiet, sit down, and they're trying to teach, and like you can't keep up, you can't understand, because you have all these distractions, and you're looking around, next thing you know, you're getting involved in the distractions. So I think that when you're homeschooling, that one-on-one attention is really, really good, and I do think that it's important to do it at a younger age. I don't think I would homeschool after they been in school like since 6th grade, and they'd be like, oh, let's homeschool. I know that a lot of people do that, depending on like a circumstance or a situation. They might have to change it. But me personally, I would like to start from the beginning to the end, just because they'll be used to it. So those are all of the pros. Some cons are time. A lot of people don't have time. People don't have time, because time is money. As an adult, time is money, and we're always trying to chase the next dollar so we can take care of our bills and take care of our kids, which is totally understandable, which is why people don't homeschool as much, and why it's considered to be out of the norm. So yeah, time is the con, and maybe you don't want to spend 24 hours with your child. Like, some people like that freedom, because they'd be like, okay, so from 7 to 3, that's me time. Even if you don't work, you're like, that's me time. I don't have to worry about the kids. I don't have to see what they're doing. So that's a con. Like I said, money. Another thing is limited sports. Like, especially, I see this more geared towards, well, I'm not even going to say that. It's for both genders, men and women. Your kids might want to get into sports and they won't be able to necessarily because they're homeschooled. And I know some schools, the way they're set up, like you legitimately have to be at their school in order to make it work. But so that's like a downside to it. Another thing is patience. You have to have patience because your kids will probably get bored with you after a while. And, sometimes they might, not be able to separate play from, you really trying to teach them. So it would definitely take patience on the parent side, especially when it comes to helping them understand things. I could totally get that. Totally. I could see myself like sometimes getting frustrated if they didn't get it. But it's all a process. It's all a part of learning. Another thing is finding your children friends, because now that I think about it a little bit, the most during your adolescent ages and during toddler years and all that preteen years, you meet your friends at school. You don't meet them like on the street unless you live in a friendly neighborhood. But for the most part, all your friends are people you go to school with, and you spend 7-8 hours a day with them, and you eat lunch with them and stuff like that, and you guys create a bond and a relationship. I do see it being a lot harder to do that if you are homeschooled, because you only get a certain amount of hours in a day, and by the time you're out of school and stuff like that, you may be able to play with them, but the relationship may be different. But yeah, I can see that being a con. So this is pretty much all I have to share. I thought that this was a really interesting topic. My video is running really long because I talk a lot. But if you hung in there with me, thumbs up. I send lots of love to you guys. So yeah, I just felt like talking about homeschooling because of all the stuff that was going on, and to share this stuff with you guys. Let me know below in the comments if you ever thought about homeschooling. Or if you are a homeschooler, I would love to hear your point of view about things, because I don't know anybody that's homeschooling, but I really am considering homeschooling. But I don't think my homeschooling would be like homeschooling where I taught it. I would probably bring somebody in, which would cost a probably pretty penny, but I would bring somebody in to, be the teacher at my house instead of me going, which means I would need a good job, no flipping burgers at McDonald's, to be able to afford that. But yeah, so it's been great talking with you guys. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. Let me know what topics you want to hear below. Bye. Have a good night.